Good evening. Good evening. At 7 o'clock, Mental Mind Treatments is about to begin. I'm going to ring my bell. I'm also going to read the card I picked today, the one side. And it said, and I just love this, there is no separation. All minds are joined. And that's exactly what mental mind treatment is about. Joining into the one mind, joining into the mind that knows and has it all. And on the backside, it says, my love flows out like ripples on the ocean. That is my world. Like ripples in the ocean, moving outward always. And so we come together for mental mind treatments to aid the inside to change the subconscious, to allow you to be able to see and know everything, know how it is, and to understand sometimes the mental understanding, which is the part that I often play in this, is because we want to see what's behind all this. What is exactly happening? And so I'm really, really pleased to be able to have not only some emails, but some phone calls. And I see Marion has written, checked in, and she says blessings to all. And Karen, and she said we had a faint rainbow here, 15. Oh, that's the numbers here. Yeah. I just want to say, Karen, thank you so much for your email that I got earlier today. It was spectacular and beautiful. And I'm going to ask about the color green that you saw, because I've been seeing an unusual green color and very light. It's a very light color, but it's definitely green. And I wondered if that was the same. So we can talk about that at some point. But in the meantime, we had a faint breeder, and you want 15, 20, 21, no Pacific thing. Let's see what we get. The 15 is emotional. It's where we allow our emotions to take over, or we get upset, or we get caught up in something, and we kind of forget the bigger purpose. And it says a lot of this has to do with acceptance, because in the acceptance, we have balance. See, until we accept something, we won't have a balance. We'll only have a reaction, or we'll have either a denial, a reaction. But the acceptance says everything is okay. So let me just do a treatment on that. That's a nice way to open that up. Remembering, as it says here, all minds are joined. So even if the prayer, the mental mind treatment, which in a way as a prayer, is not specifically for you, know that it can still help and be there, and know that this is good. So this is for Karen and anybody else who wants to realize, oh yeah, that could help me too. I know there is one power and there is one essence, that is love and full acceptance. I also know that when we get upset, that when we begin to lose a sense of our reasonableness or our awareness or our projection of what could be, that we can take a breath. And in we taking that breath, we reconnect once more with the one mind, with the loving force, with the essence of who we are. And as we take that in, then everything moves into balance. And as we move into balance, and I speak my word for Karen, that there is an awakening to the majesty of life, like the rainbow that you said that you saw. It is saying all is here. Allow it. Just allow it to be and be at peace with it, because it will be and is incredibly, incredibly beautiful. So I give thanks on behalf of Karen, and I give thanks on anybody else who is able to move beyond the emotion, beyond the fear, beyond the mad, or whatever binds us, to accept the holiness of this beautiful love force that is there for us to bring balance into our world, so that we are balanced and can move forward. And so I give thanks by saying thank you, thank you, thank you as I release this thought, knowing that for Karen it is done, but also for anybody else who knows that there is light, there is love there for them, which is great. Trust that helps, Karen. Love you a lot. Okay, Jessica Clark. Hello, Norma. Thank you very much, Jessica. Glad you're on the show. Okay, Maggie G. Good to have you again, too, from, was it yesterday or the other day? It was Sunday, I think. Good evening, Norma. I have been seeing 1010 quite often lately. No other numbers from me tonight, but thank you. Well, in some number ways, 10 has a 1, which is a new beginning. 10 is the higher factor of 1. So this is action. So when we have a beginning, when we create something, we think, oh, this is what we will do. This is how we will be. When we see 10, it is put into action. It is, otherwise you're just stuck. We don't want stuckness. So I would say if you're seeing 1010 quite recently or quite lately, as you put it, then what we're seeing here is saying, okay, time to get moving. There was, when I was learning about these mental mind treatments many, many years ago, and it was called spiritual mind treatment, we would say treat and move your feet. In other words, say the prayers, say the awareness, move your feet, do something. And this is all really what I feel here. So we're going to do a treatment on moving your feet and seeing how that goes. So as I speak my word for Maggie G, I just have such a beautiful feeling inside as I move into the love force, as I move into the awareness of all the swirling of energy, the beingness, the wonder, the beauty, the delight of the world. And it's like I can sit and ponder and look at all this beauty, or I can take it in and utilize it. I can take it in and breathe it in and know I am loved with that beyond measure, that there are situations in this life that I can enjoy and fulfill myself and be at peace. This is about doing and creating a world that is wonderful in creation of being. And it is so peaceful within myself that it's very easy just to stay stagnant. But that is not what this is about. It's about accepting it inside and knowing that you can move forward with love, forward with understanding, forward with a great understanding of being. I give thanks in the knowing of this and the sharing of this from Maggie G. I give thanks and having the awareness for myself and many others of this wonderful sense of peacefulness and splendor, the splendor of all things being ready to go. I give thanks and I release this thought knowing that it is done, that Maggie G will be able to put it into practice and be at one with all that there is. And so I give thanks. And I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, as I release this thought, knowing that it is true in all ways. And I say, thank you. And I had a request from Kayla earlier through that she texted me. And this time she's given me 3 numbers. But the funny thing is, the 3 numbers are similar to ones I wrote down for it, but I'll stick with yours. But they're so similar, I think it's really funny. So anyhow, Kayla asks us to release and let go of the kidney, bladder, urinary system, and I'm presuming an infection. It wasn't said that way, or I didn't write it down. And so there's that irritation, that is that unpleasantness in the letting go element of our bodies. And so as we see that and as we work with that, I want to just address the 3 numbers. 3 is the love force in action, and 12 is the acceptance of what is, so that we can balance. There's something out of balance in the system. Take a look. I know this sounds crazy, but take a look at what you're actually taking so that it is balanced inside the system. We want it balanced. We don't want to be taking products that are irritating, that is creating discomfort. I think this is very, very important at this point. That's what I'm getting from that. And even what I wrote talks about acceptance of deciding which is the most perfect to work with, and being able to let go of that which isn't. So there may be some very deep-seated having, and I don't like to say it this way, to see where you placed your trust that this would do the cure, so to speak, when in fact it's not working well with something else in there. It just feels like I used to go and see stock cars run one time, they smash into each other. And like, I couldn't stand the noise today, but I used to, my part of me that still likes, action movies is that kind of thing. And that's what it feels like here. It feels like your system can't let go because it's fighting within itself. And so to me, I really personally want to say, based on the numbers you gave me, look at what's supporting what you want and what isn't, and let go of what isn't. So in the meantime, let's move into treatment of knowing that the answer is in the great beyond. It knows all. I know that there is one power and there's one essence. And as I speak my word for Kayla, I know the discomfort here can be released with ease and with grace, so her system can move back into balance. This is definitely a question of balancing and being at one. And that means acceptance of all the different criteria that's gone into this whole. I want to give it 3 weeks. It's possibly longer, but for the last 3 weeks to take a look and create gentleness, create acceptance, create a sense of ease, where it reminds me of when you soothe a baby and you rock it, and it's like you need to be rocked by the beautiful hands of the divine loving force, so that you can let go all those things that upset you, that you can let go. And as I've got written down here of what you wrote, release and let go. The condition is a symptom of letting go, and so that you can be rocked in the arms, whether you want to call it the mother, father, God, love force, however you want to call it, doesn't matter. But it's to allow yourself to embrace it and let it go, because the greater force will transform it all. I still think you need to take a look at what's not opposing, but that's separately. The actual prayer itself says to allow yourself to be embraced by the loving power of the divine, to let go. And all the things that bother you or have bothered you or ever bothered you, this reminds me of my talk I did on Sunday. We just let go and know it's all okay as we move forward in the direction of where we're going. I give thanks in knowing that the answer, the hope, the dream, the feeling of being at one is with Kayla. I let go and give thanks with such gratitude of just being at one, that the system calms and the system works in an effective way in all ways. And I give thanks in the knowing of this and the information that has been given, by saying, as I release this into the arms of the divine, by saying, and so it is. Amen. God bless. Okay. Jessica says, I pulled a muscle and I'm feeling discouraged with my circumstances. I am feeling weak and I cannot wait for the kiddos to be back at school next week. I can believe that. 5, 8, 14. Okay. And that's Jessica. Well, I want to say something before I address this to a degree. You're beginning to make huge strides in understanding. And the number 5 that you picked first has to do with growth. Having the teacher, having the person who knows the path, explaining it to you. And often that path is not a quick path. Often there's a lot of things. In fact, I'm just working on my newsletter that's going out. And I was talking about something that I had run across. And people who I've been working with on this have just found such incredible difference. It's like, how come it took me so long to figure that out? But anyway, it's like there are situations in here. And I just think this is a lot about knowledge. Sometimes when we have a little knowledge, it is dangerous because we think everything should be, that's it. It should be, oh, fine now. Everything should work. I feel really good today. How come I'm not feeling so good tomorrow? Well, sorry, tomorrow would be today, all right. But you know what I mean? And so what it shows here, it's about the application of what you know into the life that creates balance to move forward. Now, let's think about that. When we have some knowledge, it is the application of that into the life so that we can move forward when we're in balance with it. That doesn't mean we have all the knowledge or all the awareness at any given moment, but it comes in different ways. As I said, I just found a whole lot of new stuff the other day. Now, my dear, I'm going to treat for you to relax and really work on finding that inner strength through love so that you can move forward. Now, I know as I speak my word for Jessica, that the loving part of her that wants to grow in leaps and bounds sometimes goes a little faster than being able to integrate and amalgamate the different concepts, the different ideas, and the different concepts. But the awareness is there. It needs to just relax more and not be frustrated when you push too hard or try to assimilate maybe more information than allowing it to congeal. Information comes in and has to be tied in with other information that you have. It needs to be working with that so that it works with a very, very much of an ideal of the direction. And so with this, as you create a balance, you can move forward. But I think it'll be slower than what you would like. You would like that, Okay, I've learned this, I've learned that, I've got it, that's it, I'm off to the races. But it's a little more than that because more things will keep coming in. More things will keep coming. And the more things that keep coming, they have to be assimilated. They have to come into the base so your base is strong. Otherwise, you get top heavy, and that's when you pull muscles. That's when you're racing ahead and you trip and fall. Those are all the things because you haven't consolidated. So this, my dear, is about you consolidating and allowing the consolidation to take place. So there's balance as you move forward. Now, in the knowing of this, I give tremendous thanks, for I know how loved you actually are. I know that lovingness for yourself and your family and the friends and all the people around is very much a part of you, but we just need to do it a little slower and know that it all will be well. And I would give thanks for this and to the wellness of being, because I see it. I see it. Just breathing, going slower, knowing it will be okay. It will work out. You will be given the information you need as you move forward. I give thanks as I release this thought by saying, and so it is. Jessica. Amen. Okay, I just want to check back in here. Maggie G says thank you. Lots of thank yous, blessings. I love that. Kayla says thank you. A beautiful treatment. Doing much. Onopono. All works, all helps. Okay, I'm now going to my other lists in my book. I'm talking, my first prayer is for Mitch. He's very new to this thinking of how we think and how we look at life. And so I actually gave the numbers. She didn't give me numbers. I gave the numbers of 2, 16, and 4, because that shows choice to the devastation and the stubbornness. And the stubbornness I ran into. So I actually know that's there. Okay, so let us just do a treatment of seeing alternatives. I know, as I'm one with all that loving, beautiful energy that we have seen for others, I know that exists. And I also know that it exists there for Mitch. That all Mitch has to do is open herself up to see an alternative way of thinking, of being, and loving. And, excuse me, and in that, all things open up to such a degree that it's almost overwhelming because of possibilities. I feel the fear here is possibilities. What would we do if these possibilities were real? What would we do if these possibilities actually came into being? How would that be handled? What would that do? And it's like, I don't know if I want this. But not happy with where you are means things have to change in order to be where you want to be. And so it is about seeing alternatives. So I know here in the loving force that seeing alternatives can be done, can be achieved without fear, without concern, without thinking the world's going to, collapse on top of you, but instead is going to create exactly what you want for you. I give thanks in knowing this for Mitch. I give thanks in knowing it is possible. I give thanks in knowing that alternatives can be seen and worked with. And so it is. Amen. I'm just going to have a sip of water here. And I say thank you to Jessica's thank you too. Now, my next one is for Kathy. And what I've got written down here is to create all she can create with ease and support. 3 numbers I chose, 13, 12, and 7. 13 is moving forward in a different way, that the worst is behind you. And now you're moving forward into it and accepting things as you go along. And 7 is also about leaving the past behind. This is all about leaving the past behind and working and creating with ease and support. I know that there has been a lot shifted here in Kathy's life. And I know that what will be is very different than what she's experienced. And so I know as I move into the oneness of all things, that's so exciting. I tell you, it's so exciting when things begin to, how would you say, come together and work. And you can see that ability to create all that you want to create. But not only is creating it, it's with ease, it's with support, it's with love, it's with joy. And it all comes together because you're willing to let go of the past. All of those old things are gone. All of those things, and yes, we've worked on these, but it's like gone, done, been, not to have to be experienced again. I just can't tell you how freeing that feels, because so often we have to do that. We have to let go of the old thinking. We have to let go of the old ways. We have to let go of these old beliefs that we've carried for lifetime and lifetime. And we keep repeating the same old decisions. And that's what I've come into, is how we did that. I ran across it myself, and then I began to work with some clients, and what they keep saying is like, can't believe the difference, because it's not just one time. It can be 20, 30, or even more times, lifetimes of places where we just recreate the same decision over and over and over again. And it has to stop. It has to stop. And so it's really good to take a look at those and see what they are to stop. And it always amazes me, the numbers that keep cropping up now. And then when you look at them, they're not always the same. They're different sometimes. So with Kathy, I am just so happy because I can see that she got it and she's moving forward with love and light, and that it's all coming together. And I give thanks for this because it just warms my heart. And I just say, and so it is. Amen. Now, a very good friend of mine, and this brings tears to my eyes actually, went on a spiritual retreat and then came back very ill and was in hospital for a month. Did get to see her. First of all, she couldn't even phone me because she was too weak to phone. When she phoned me, she said, we talked. I said, would you like me to do a mental mind treatment for you? She said, yes. And I said, well, what would you like? She said, harmony in the body, because that's obviously the body is not doing well. And then I said, well, what numbers would you pick? And she gave me 3, 12, and 17. As we often find in these, week 12 comes up because it's all about acceptance, right? And so my friend Trish is out of hospital now, but still not in great shape yet. So I'm going to say this. Love is her answer for sure, which she knows, and the acceptance so that she can move forward. So let's see what comes in treatment, because sometimes I get big surprises in this. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that Trish is connected to that power and has been so right in with that power for a long time. And the acceptance of love, the acceptance of the awareness. And it's this time as she's asking for and desiring for the harmony in the body to heal itself and come into harmony in her life so that she can move forward. I feel it just needs a little longer to let go some old, I'm going to call them beliefs. One could just say ideas maybe, but they feel like beliefs to me that are dealing with it. I'm going to write this down so I keep it because it's coming in, that it's not correct. In other words, I'm never correct or I'm not correct. I will certainly tell her this. I'm not correct or I'm not. It's another way of saying I'm not good enough, but those aren't the words that are coming through. It's like I'm not correct. So somewhere along the line, she's picked up the idea, and that is old, very old idea, or it's been triggered. We'll say that again, that whatever she is or doing is not correct. To me, that is false. If we are doing the best we can, then we are correct. But sometimes these old beliefs, and that's what I'm finding out, these old beliefs get in the way because we hang on to them. And then we grow them, and then it becomes a problem. So our organs don't work correctly because we're not correct. They're not working the way they should because they're not accepted as being correct. So I know, as I speak my word here for Trish, I know these old beliefs right now are being absolutely dissolved by the power of love and the power of incorrect thinking in the now. And I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out. And every healer that hears this, please send that knowingness that we are all loved for who we are, without judgment. And any judgment, it will be that I know that we are able to correct those ideas. They're old ideas that come from a time of great judgment, not of love. And we are here to step into love, to step into the love force, to step into that awareness. And my friend Trish deserves this. She gives so much of herself to others. She works for others, but very often, if we look underneath, quite often we find that we're not correct. We don't do enough. We should do more, whatever. The judgments have to go. As far as I'm concerned, the judgments have got to go. So we accept ourselves with all our foibles, knowing that we're loved for them. And I love Trish just for who she is. And I give thanks in this knowingness as I release this, knowing that she will come into harmony with her body, her soul, her knowledge, her awareness, because she is at one with it all. And I'm going to take a big breath. I have one more still here, unless somebody else writes one up. This is for my friend Shane that I spoke with today. I know there is one power, and I know my friend Shane that as I was speaking with him today, I wrote down here that we were going to do a treatment on the strength of convictions. Sometimes when we come into life, when some of us are born stubborn and sad and we carry our convictions very strong, and others more quieter and go along and we don't sort of, dig our heels into the dirt. And the three numbers, when I thought about the strength of convictions, was 17, 8, and 3. And 17 is balance, 8 is utilizing the force, and 3 is love. I just think here is that my dear friend Shane just needs to know his convictions of what he wants is absolutely correct and right for him, no matter what somebody else says. No matter what somebody else says to him, he's got to know that he has the strength of his own convictions because he knows what is right for him. We all know what's right for us, but we always think somebody else knows better. I know as a reader, I have difficult sometimes because I know I trust the person, but please listen to me, change your thinking or do something like that. I understand that. But I also know, when I spoke with Jane today, I said, just know what you want, declare it. And that's what I see here. And I give thanks of just adding some energy to him to say, yes, I have the strength of my convictions and I can stand up and I can say what I want and it's all okay. And I give thanks in the knowing of this, that it's okay to say your truth, even if other people don't like it, because it's your truth and love supports you. And I give thanks as I release this, knowing it is true and it is done and it is aware. And there we are. I don't have anything. I don't think Jessica said, thank you. I think I said that. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, forget. Wednesday. Now, Wednesday's going to be an interesting day because on Wednesday, we're going to have the photograph not the photograph, the reading, which will come up for September. And also today I started working on my newsletter, which will come out on the Thursday. So I have several bits of news in the newsletter. And I'm just going to debate whether I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday as well. We'll see. Anyhow, there's movements and changes in all of us in all sorts of ways and patterns that are happening. And I just want to be able to keep on doing these 3 shows. And also, and on what date have I put? I think it's the 3rd Saturday, we're doing another channeling session. if you missed the channeling session, and I know a couple did, they got in a little, I messed up a bit actually, but 2 people are waiting for the next one. There was some really interesting things that were channeled for people. And so that's going to be coming up in the newsletter when that comes, and that's going to be in, I think, 3 Saturdays from now. Yeah, because the 9th I'm doing a wedding. It's the following one. So, life goes on with all these wonderful things happening. And, yes, illnesses and changes and new births and things coming through the mainstream media that everyone's getting fearful about. Why? Do you have faith? Do you believe? Or are you going to give into fear? That's one of the big things. I want you to be strong. We just talked about strength of your convictions. Know what your convictions are. Know what you believe, what you think is right for you. Because these things that are coming up, you're going to have to stand up or not. But it's all a delight knowing that there is one power and one essence. I call the love energy. People call it God or Allah or whoever, Buddha, whatever, the one power, the one essence that's in all of us. And it's in that one power and one essence. I'll ring my bell because I think I'm done chatting away here by saying you have a great week. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye now.